These are my parents. You guys have always been passionate with music. Do you remember a time where things changed and you just became enthralled in it?
Well, for me, because I'm a little older than Daryl. Um, so, in other words, when I was a freshman, he was still in junior high. For me, it started out with like Brenda Lee and Paul Anka and Neil Sedaka. But when the Beatles came on the scene, we were hooked because we've been going out all that time. We liked the Stones, a lot of the other British invasion, but we were obsessed with the Beatles. So much so that your father said, we need to be in a band. We need to start a band.
I was with a band. Michael Scott was a friend of mine. He taught me a lot about guitar. We were both the same age. And next thing I knew, we were in an instrumental band. And then Sylvia says to me, you ever hear the Chevelles? And I said, no. She said, well, the lead singer just got drafted into the Army, so he has to leave. Would you be interested in playing? I had a great guitar, Fender Jazzmaster with a Gibson Falcon amp, and nobody to use it with. So I decided to join that band, and we became the Chevelles.
But not really then, because he tripped me. When they would practice, I'd sing, and he noticed that he liked my voice. So what happened is there was a talent show, and his band was performing, and he introduced me. I hadn't even prepared for it. And we have a special guest here. So he brings me on the stage. I was 15 and a half years old then, and I'm giving him daggers for looks because he put me on the spot. And we sang a song, If I Had a Hammer, and we won the talent show. And another time...
You sang Blue Moon?
Oh, yes, Blue Moon.
So anyway, this is one of our favorite songs. It wasn't the Beatles. J. Frank Reynolds and Cavaliers. And it was a song, it was a lot of sad songs back then that people danced to. Anyway, this one's called Last Kiss.
Where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave of this world. We were out on a date in my daddy's car. We hadn't driven very far. There in the road, straight ahead, a car was stalled, the engine was dead. I couldn't stop, so I swerved to the right. I'll never forget the sounds that night, the crying tires, the busting glass, the painful screams that I heard last. Now the chorus.
Okay.
Well, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave of this world.
Yay!
Last Kiss. So anyway, we played with it. We were in the band for about 3 years.
3.5.
3.5.
Yep.
And she got to be known as that girl that sings in the band. That we hear these French men talking in the bank. And one come over and he says, are you that girl that sings in the band? And we said, well, yes, we are. So her voice is very unique, to say the least. Anyway, number of years we did that. We enjoyed it very much. I got pretty skilled with the guitar by the time 3 years had gone by. Otherwise, they should have shot me if I didn't. So
we only gave up the band because we were getting married and moving to Portland.
And we moved to Portland because I was going to vocational school, 2-year program in culinary arts. So the second year, we're coming up on it, and I asked her to marry me, and we decided to get married. It's kind of a hard time, but we did a few gigs, mostly folk music back then.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
a mixture of rock and roll and folk.
folk was big.
Because we
So-
played in bars, we played at college frat parties,
Frat parties,
and we played at a go-go room.
and it was a cool place. And I was the lead guitar player with a pompadour hairdo, and she was the one that had the go-go boots and kind
Mini
of a
dress.
short mini dress.
We even did that song, "These Boots Were Made for Walking."
Yeah, she really was good at that. So then, as we started doing the folk stuff, we started thinking, what kind of music? The Everly Brothers, long before the Beatles, came out with a song, Dream. And she started singing that. It's a great little old song about people that are in love, but it's not going well. So all he has to do to be with her is to dream. And this is how it goes. I can't do it.
I want you in my arms, and I want you in all your charms. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I need you in the night, and I want you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. That's enough.
And then we did all kinds
If I
of
had a
music.
hammer.
I'm not doing that today. I haven't had enough practice.
Okay, well, you choose.
My fingers
So-
are shorter than they've ever been.
Why did you have to sell your Fender? And
Okay, I got an invitation from Richard Nixon, the president, to join the army or go to jail. It was a great invitation. So at a place called Leavenworth, and I didn't want to go there because I was married. I just didn't want to be away from mom. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and get. I was the oldest.
We were
guy.
living in Portland, and you knew that you were going to go away, so we had to put everything we owned up for sale. And he was so proud of that Fender Jazzmaster he had.
We sold it. I paid $500 for the guitar and the amplifier. We sold it for $125 because we needed money. We had to have something to live on.
And I was going to go live with his Meme and Pepe until he finished his basic training. And then he would take me wherever he would go, which ended up being Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where our oldest son, Christopher, was born. And that's him over there.
He's much bigger now.
so when did you buy him the guitar he has with him? And for what occasion?
When he turned 30, for a surprise, I wanted to get him a standard guitar because he had sold his electric guitar. And there was a guy in the neighborhood that I found out was selling guitars and stuff out of his home. So I went and knocked on his door, and it was a Yamaha standard guitar. And I bought it for his 30th birthday with my own money, $125 that I got by selling Avon. So he still has that to this day, which we are in our will. We're leaving the guitar to my son Daniel, who's doing this recording.
Yeah. It's kind of old and haggard, but
Still plays good.
so are we. So that's why again.
Do you-
Anyway.
Do you want to
But-
finish with one more song?
Yeah, what would you like to do, Daryl, that you could play easily?
Let's see.
There was a tall oak tree that loved the babbling brook, and the babbling brook loved the mountain high, and the mountain high, it loved the sky above. The Creator looked down and saw everything was love, love, love. Then he took a bone and a piece of mud. He made a man and a woman to be flesh and blood. Then along came the devil
up out of the ground. He tempted woman and desperate sin, all around, all around, all around. If she'd have left that apple on the apple tree, there'd be no tears and sorrow. We'd live eternally.
That's it.
Okay.
Because it's long.
So
It's
that's
all biblical and it
That's
keeps
a
going.
very poor sample of what we used to do because I haven't practiced in about 10 years. And fingers at our age, also get very stiff because of arthritis. You know, the itis boys, there's neuritis and arthritis, and the whole bunch. So we are now married 56 years.
57 next
years.
month.
Yeah.
57.
And people often ask, I see people disappointed in their lives. But I'll tell you what, if I was 14 again and she came on the scene, I'd do it all over, every single minute of it. Even the draft. We learned a lot through those years. We learned how to survive. You learn as you go. And after 56 years, I do another 56. So, matter of fact, I put in for it. I filled out my application. Although I don't know, lately, I don't know if I'm going to make it that far. But I sure am happy with this lady here.
And we still do some singing, not much, but if company comes over, I'll ask them, would you like us to do a few songs from when we were in the band? And they're all pretty amazed. Whenever there's like 4th of July, you know, the Bucks all together, family gets together, we always sing a few songs for that. Otherwise than that, that's it.
You know, one of the Beatles songs that I really liked was I Should Have Known Better with a Girl Like You. Well, the first time I heard it, we were at my mother's house, and for some reason we were sitting alone, and I sang it as it was being played. And I'll never forget that. I used to be able to play it very well, but I don't play anything very well anymore. Just old and stiff, and I don't want to get rid of the guitar, so I'm going to leave it to somebody.
We know who.
Anyway, but that's our story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, guys.
Love you.
Thank you.